Hey everybody, it's Kate. Welcome back to the channel. Everyone watching, thank you so much for all your support. This month we've grown nearly 500 subscribers and I just could not be more appreciative, and I'm just so glad you're here. This video I've got for you today has been requested by several of the K Squad members, so I wanted to give it to you because you know, the K Squad gets what the K Squad wants. What many of you ask me is, can you walk us through a day in your life? Just tell us, what are you doing to save money? What frugal habits do you have to save money, not spend so much? Can you just walk us through it? And today, let's talk about it. The first frugal daily habit I have is most days when I wake up, I have no intention of spending any money at all. None. Most days when I wake up, I fully intend not to spend. I'm gonna have to make a TikTok or an Instagram post on that one. I intend not to spend. Let me walk you through my morning, my afternoon, my evening on how my day is structured so that I don't even really think about spending much on most days. I'm gonna start with the basics, start with the classics. You know what I'm talking about? You've heard this before, of course, but I'm going to reiterate. I bring my breakfast, my lunch, and my snacks to work for myself. And for my son, I pack his lunch and his snacks. He almost always eats breakfast first thing when he wakes up. He will bounce out of bed and be ready to eat. I am not that way. When I wake up, I need coffee. I need more coffee. And then I'm not normally ready to eat breakfast until about 9. So I normally bring my breakfast to work and just eat at my desk. This could be something totally simple, a bagel with cream cheese. We have a toaster at work, just pop it in the toaster, or yogurt and fruit, whatever I'm in the mood for, but I bring it with me. Is it tempting to drive through Dunkin'? I mean, would I resist Dunkin'? No. But for myself, if I'm buying it, yeah. Because as you know, that adds up. And honestly, I don't really feel that great after eating like a breakfast sandwich from Dunkin' in the morning. It kind of makes my stomach a little upset. And I don't know, it's just not the best thing for me to eat while I'm at work. So, all right, so let me just also clarify this. I work in a school. I can't leave during the day in the middle to go out to lunch. And honestly, you guys, even if I could, I probably wouldn't. A, because of the finances, but B, let me know in the comments, do you have like an hour break or plus where you can actually go out to lunch? If I left midday, I don't know if I could get my focus back because I would probably completely lose focus after that. I need to be, you know, little breaks here and there, get up, walk around kind of thing, but long breaks for me, I would think would be a disaster. I saw this TikTok the other day of a woman that showed her pre-coffee, which was her coffee from home, on her way to her Dunkin' coffee, which I thought was really funny because I do think some people do that, but I actually think that's not a horrible strategy if you drink a ton of coffee and you have a couple before you go and then you're only buying the one coffee and not buying several coffees out. I mean, do what you gotta do. I get up every day 2 hours before I have to be at work so that I have time to shower, get ready, make lunches for both of us. I would say getting things ready the night before is the best strategy in many cases, but honestly, like Kaden likes a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I don't like a sandwich that's been sitting in the refrigerator when it's a peanut butter and jelly for long, and I just speak for Kaden on that too, so I make a fresh one every morning. But if you have something that you can make ahead of time, or if you like it in the refrigerator, some people like theirs refrigerated, you could do it the night before, and maybe not all of you are making sandwiches, but we keep it really simple around here. Don't forget snacks. Snacks sometimes are the thing that's gonna save you if you're feeling starving and stop you from running out and going and getting something, or going to your vending machine and getting something that's probably double what it would normally be and probably not too nutritionally of value, but I grocery shop, as you guys know, 1 time per week, and I get everything I need for the week, breakfast, lunches, dinners, and I make sure I have it on hand so I don't have to go anywhere. Another frugal habit that I have on the daily or at least weekly is repurposing my leftovers. I love to make a little extra and then have more. Now, let me give you the perfect example. I think this is the perfect example of what I do. Can you hear Buns purring? He's sitting here just purring his head off. If you watched my video last week, you heard we had chicken burger night with the family. It was an epic game of Clue, chicken burgers, and chocolate chip cookies. And when I'm talking about chicken burgers, by the way, they're chicken patties in a burger bun. That's what it is. That's a chicken burger. I get sometimes the Tyson one, and sometimes I get the generic brand of our local store. Depends. If Tyson's having a deal, maybe I will get that, or maybe I'll just get the generic brand. They're both really good. But what I did was I made several extra patties. I cooked up several extra chicken patties. And what I did was I turned that into 3 meals after chicken burger night. The first way I repurposed the chicken was I cut it up and I put it on I'm really into this lately, guys, like chicken nachos. Tostitos topped with cheese, sour cream, guacamole, and a little bit of chicken on top, like a crumbled topping of chicken, like chicken crumbled on top. Yum, it was delicious. So that's one meal in which I reused the chicken, but not as a chicken burger. The second way, I made a chicken wrap. So I got a wrap, again, very similar theme here, sour cream, cheese, veggies, and chicken, and I made a wrap out of it. Delicious. The third way I repurposed that chicken, that same chicken that I had cut up, was I made a Alfredo bow tie pasta, and then I sprinkled chicken on top of that, and what do you know? Flippin' delicious. So you see how I can take one meal, make a little extra, and then turn it into different meals. So it's not like I had chicken burgers 4 times. I had chicken burgers once, chicken nachos, chicken wrap, pasta with chicken, and they were yum. So either the night before or the morning of, have everything prepared so that there's nothing to spend on throughout the day. You see how you're setting yourself up? What do you need to go out and do for food? Nothing. You've got your breakfast, you've got your snacks, you've got your lunch. The other thing I do before I leave, this is just a small little habit I have, but I think it has saved me a couple times. Before I leave the house, I do a sweep of all the rooms that I'm normally in. I make sure all the lights are turned off. I make sure all appliances are turned off, and I make sure all electronics are turned off and maybe even unplugged depending on which ones. This way, I'm not wasting any electricity throughout the day that if I hadn't done the sweep might not have caught. Everyone's had the, did I leave the iron on panic? Not regular iron. You guys know I don't iron. Come on now. But flat iron or curling iron, yes. We've all had that panic moment of like, oh, did I leave that on? So I always do a clean sweep of the house. I look in every single room. I look in Caden's room, my room, bathroom, kitchen, living room. I just look around, make sure. Sometimes in the morning, I even light candles, get a nice like yummy smell in the morning. Just feels good, smells good, nice and calm, nice and relaxing. I make sure everything is put out, everything's turned off, so I'm not wasting any energy anywhere. Okay, so it's time to leave work now. I go home. Unless it's grocery/errand day, which I normally only do once a week, I go home. Don't add things in there that you don't need for no reason. There are gonna be days where you need stuff. I'm gonna give you a couple of examples. Doctor appointments. If you have a doctor appointment, you might have a copay. That's something I normally have in my budget, but actually for medical stuff for me, with where I work, with my school, we have a health savings account. So at my old school that I used to work at, the one that I was at for 7 years, you could not spend up to $500 and the $500 would roll over. In the new place that I'm at, there is no refund on money not spent. And I had no idea how much I would be spending this year. So I went probably a little on the low side because I didn't want to lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. So I was a little bit cautious with that this first year to see how it kind of goes. What am I actually going to be spending on medically? I do have like a prescription for Advair. I have the generic version of Advair because I have asthma, which I have to get every month. Which, by the way, if you have asthma, that has been a life changer. I used to have these fast action inhalers that were, I mean, they did its job in the moment, but when I changed over to Advair, my breathing has increased. The quality of my breathing and the lack of stress about breathing since I started using that years ago, game changer. I'm just saying it out loud in case you have any asthma problems. Might be something to ask your doctor because it's literally changed my life. Another exception could be, and this is not like something you'd be setting out to do, but say your son has school pictures or, oh, here's another one. Now this one's not on the daily, but my car battery died. Did I tell you this? I don't think I told you this. My car battery died the other day. It was the weekend and me and my brother were taking my mom and dad for a nice anniversary meal to celebrate them. It was their anniversary. And when I went to get in the car, it was like, and like all my lights were flashing and glitching and then just nothing. And I'm like, that had never happened to me before. You guys probably remember, some of you that have been here for a bit, but not my new folks that have come by, but my OGs. I got my car in 2015 and I haven't had, no gosh, I shouldn't even say it. Knock on wood, I haven't had to do much beyond the general maintenance. So that has been wonderful. But my car battery died and I had to get it replaced. It was like $150. I didn't sweat it, got my budget buffer, everything was okay. That was definitely a situation where I did not intend to spend, but stuff happens as we know. And that's why if you don't have a budget buffer, type in Kate Caden budget buffer at the end of this after you've watched this video and check it out. Oh, I'll just leave a video on the end screen so you can watch if you're interested. So what I normally do is me and Caden come home and we prioritize a walk together. That gives us time to talk about our day. It gets us some exercise. It feels really good. So we go on a daily walk. Sometimes this happens after dinner, but more than likely it'll be before I start making stuff for us. Then I make food at home for dinner. If you've never seen my Capsule Kitchen video, I will also leave that on an end screen. I gotta remember, budget buffer and Capsule Kitchen. At the end of this video, I will put those at the end so you can watch those. I basically have like a capsule pantry, which is basically meals that we can go to anytime that we really like. I don't do meal planning, but I meal plan-ish by just always having our favorites on hand and rotating through that. That has really simplified my life, you guys, having like a capsule kitchen, capsule pantry. With the capsule kitchen, the benefits for me that I've experienced so far are wasting less food is right up there. We waste a lot less food when we're only buying the things that we really like and we love eating. I've told you this before. I used to be like getting all this produce that I'm not gonna eat and it was a waste. And I hate wasting food. I hate throwing out food I didn't use. I really like to use everything up as much as possible and not waste food, letting foods expire. That's another big benefit of having like a capsule kitchen because you can see everything and you rotate through and you make sure that nothing is just in the back there expiring. You can see it, you're utilizing it all, so you're really not being wasteful. The other great thing about a capsule kitchen, you guys, is it reduces decision making. By the end of my day, I have made so many decisions. I work in a school. I'm an administrative assistant and I schedule people all day. I schedule classes for the school. I set up meetings for IEPs. If you don't know what those are, they're individualized education plans for students. I'm on the phone with parents all day, staff, and I'm basically a registrar. I set up new students that enter the school, and I transfer out students that leave when they move, etc. I am chock full of decisions all day long, and the last thing I want to do when I get home is obsess about what are we gonna eat. I know what we're gonna eat because there's a handful of options, all options that we love. That's another thing I'm gonna say to you guys that I really wanted to just touch upon. Cook or make what your family enjoys. I remember being a kid, and while I believe that we should try new things sometimes, I'm not against trying new foods, but I'm also not about forcing food down my son's throat that he really doesn't like. Not into it, not doing it. I remember being a kid, and my parents were very straightforward, meat, potato, vegetable kind of meals. And we sat down at dinner every night and had dinner together. This was something I grew up with every night at the dinner table. And there were 4 of us. I have a brother, if you don't know that, my older brother, my parents, and me. And there were some meals where I would just be like, why did you make this? As I got older, I realized, like meatloaf. When I was a kid, when it was meatloaf night, that one for me at the time wasn't into it. But the rest of my family really enjoyed it. And I had, even though I was a kid, like the maturity to realize, okay, my parents love this meal. Do your best. Like I didn't whine about it. But I know that there are some meals when they come up with Caden, he's like, I really don't like that. And he's tried it. If he hasn't tried it, I'm like, come on, babe, you got to give it at least a try, and he'll give it a whirl. But cook the things your family really enjoys eating. The bigger your family gets, the harder this will be. And honestly, this is so easy for me to say. I've got one. I'm worried about me. I'm worried about him. Those of you with larger families, I don't even know how you make everybody happy. And I know some parents that make like a la carte, like different meals for everyone to make everyone happy. I don't know how you do it. Everyone with large families, managing that is a challenge. And I congratulate anyone that does meal planning, or just not even meal planning, anyone that's feeding their family and getting it done, guys. Life can be challenging, and just getting food in everyone's body, getting them nourished is a challenge. So way to go. You're doing great, seriously. And by the way, I just want to remind everybody, when you're watching my videos, I'm never telling you that this is how you should do it. I hope you've got that vibe from me. I hope when you're watching my videos, you're thinking, hey, I'm looking for some ideas. What's Kate got? You listen. Some of them you're like, yes, yes, yes. Some of them you're like, heck no, Kate, I'm not doing that. And please know, I will never tell you what to do. You always have to choose what works for your family. And sometimes something will work, but you don't want to do it. And you want to spend your life doing the things you want to do, the things, kind of the path of least resistance that works for your family, and that, that feels good, that makes you happy and makes your family happy. So just remember, anytime you're watching my videos, I'm sharing what I do. And if it works for you, awesome. If it doesn't, go to the next one. After dinner, it's basically time for bath, books, and bedtime. Again, not time to be spending any money. I am not a person that is going to go online and be looking for stuff. I will tell you the exception. Kohl's, if you're watching, when you send me the 40% coupon, it's a go. No matter what. When you send me the 40% coupon, my Kohl's card will be utilized that weekend. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to give you an example. I just got the 40% coupon. I see the 15 often. I see the 20%. I see the 30%. No. Kohl's, I'm not interested. Don't even send me those. I'm not going to use them. But when that 40, that magical unicorn 40 comes up, that's almost half off and it's time to shop. I just bought, I'm not exaggerating, 14 gifts for Christmas for $88. 14 quality gifts that I think are awesome for $88 because they were already mostly on clearance plus the 40% off. I have family that lives in Florida, Virginia, the warm weather states, and now is the time that Kohl's sells all their summer stuff. So Kate's there for it. And my family, they're getting new flip-flops, warm weather clothes, tank tops, summer tees, capri pants for when they go hiking. It's a magical time. But other than the 40% off coupon, you won't see me online, just randomly looking for nothing. I'm not doing it. It's not a habit of mine, and it's not one that I'm going to start creating anytime soon. And then we go to bed, and then we get up, and it's the same thing the next day. That's Monday through Friday, you guys. There's no time where shopping fits in. There's no place for shopping or careless spending, recreational spending, if you will, to kind of come into our day. We're set up for the day. We're set up for success. There's no real reason to be spending unless I'm looking to spend. So Caden came home today with his fundraiser brochure, which is 2 magazines full of stuff to buy. Now, this is something that I will participate in for 2 reasons. One, I like to support his school, and it's a school fundraiser. So I will purchase things, and I will ask those closest to us if they're interested. Not bother them with it, but if they want to get something. The funny thing is, fundraisers for schools have gotten a lot better over the years. I feel like when I was younger, the stuff wasn't that good. Now it's great. It's very enticing. And so what I'll do is I budget every October to spend a little bit on the fundraiser so that I can contribute to the school. But the second thing that I do is I normally buy gifts for people. I might buy some Christmas gifts. I might buy some birthday gifts if I see something that is appropriate for a friend or family member. That way, it's good all around. Participating in the fundraiser and getting other people things I think they'll love. Before we go, let's talk about wine. I mean, why not, right? If you're over 21, which according to my analytics is 98% of you, I'm going to tell you about some wine in case you don't know about it that I think is a great gift because I've consumed it before and it was good and it doesn't cost a lot. If we haven't talked about this before, it's also a great gift to bring if you're going to someone's house, if they're having you over. I never like to show up empty-handed, or a housewarming thing. Target California Roots $5 wine. There's a red blend, there's a Moscato, Rosé, Chardonnay, Sangria, and my personal favorite, Pinot Grigio. $5. $5 for a bottle of wine that is fine. Unless you're trying to be super fancy and you're a wine connoisseur and I only drink this brand, blah, blah, blah. $5 wine at Target. You're welcome. The last thing I'm going to add, I always say the last thing, it's never the last thing, but store your food properly. I'm just going to say that. Just a side note. If you store your food properly, it won't expire as fast, and I always try to do that. And then the other thing with that, again, never the last thing, when you're getting food at the grocery store, make sure, I know most of you do this, but make sure your expiration date is as far out as possible. Don't just grab the first milk. I would never grab the first milk. I always double check. Is there one that's a week later? Boom, that one's mine. Now is your turn. What is one thing that you do daily that helps you save money and makes your day run as smooth as possible. When I make my coffee in the morning, I usually have 1 hot cup. And then if I have time, I might have the second cup hot, but if not, put it in this little cup. Meow chicka meow meow. And I put some ice and I turn it into an iced coffee on the go. This looks enormous, but I swear I suck it down even faster when it's iced coffee. It's like ice water. If you like talking about frugal living, saving money, or budgeting, please hit subscribe at this time. Hit the bell so you're notified each time I upload, and tap that like button. It helps get these kinds of videos to other people that want to talk about these same topics. And the last thing I'm just going to ask, out of the goodness of your own heart, if you do enjoy my videos, please ask one person in your family, one friend, to hit subscribe on my channel this week. I appreciate it more than you know. If it's going to be helpful to them, or you just want to support your girl Kate, I really appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for being here every week. I love seeing you. I will see you next Friday. Bye.